Hello, everybody. We are back with another movie review. Okay, sure. Why not? I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host, Chum. And yeah, I realized I forgot to count down. Oh, well, my bad. But yeah, today, since next month is... Oh, sorry. By the end of this month is the release of the new Quiet Place, A Quiet Place Day 1 with Lupita Nyong'o and Eddie from Stranger Things. We thought we might just cap on the hype. Yeah, it's a new movie of that and talk about some creature features, I guess. Starting with the original Quiet Place from 2018, directed by John Krasinski himself, also starring him and his wife Emily Blunt and Millicent Simmons as their daughter, who I think these three are the standouts. But before we get to this movie, yeah, you agree?
No, I was gonna give a little fun fact on one of the actresses. But yeah, anyway, go on.
Alright. But yeah, this came out 2018, as I said. So were you excited for this one?
Yeah, dude, was this... Because, I wasn't really that excited for it, but knowing that John Krasinski was in it, I was like, oh, cool. Alright, I like Jim from The Office. And the fact that he's directing it as well, I was like, okay, this is a very cool concept. But yet, I'm not entirely sold because around the time when you hear horror movies coming out, you're not really excited, and especially I think it came out around mid or early 2018. So anything that's early of the year, you're just trying to get rid of and all right, let's push this out. That's the formula. You put the bad movies first of the year, and you put the really good ones by hitting the end.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was like, all right, it's all right, I'm a tad bit excited, and then you start hearing people's experiences with the theater. You're like, ooh, people are dead quiet in the theater.
Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing from everybody. Is people actually shut the hell up when they're watching this movie because you are actually engrossed within the movie. This movie is quiet. Given the name.
Yeah. Definitely.
But this movie is quiet. Not a lot happens besides the sound of the wind and the rustling of leaves and the footsteps on sand. And I'm just like, that is so fucked. I want to watch it. So I took my girlfriend at the time. We watched the movie. And a question. What was your movie experience like when you watched this in the theater?
No pun intended. Quiet. Very quiet. The moment it starts, people are like, oh, okay.
Did you just get those moments of just you're just and from the 10 feet away from you, you just hear somebody eating a popcorn really slowly?
Yeah.
You're just it kind of ruins the moment, but then again, some people didn't know what they were getting at. They didn't know it was gonna be this quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think I saw a disclaimer in Facebook where you have to be quiet.
Yeah.
When you watch this movie, please don't be loud.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
I think I was excited because of that Michael Bay movie with the soldiers in Libya.
13 hours.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I know John Krasinski can be a serious actor, and now he's turned horror director. I just like Jordan Peele the year before. So I'm like, all right, I'm excited for this. And yeah, my theater experience was pretty quiet, but going into it, I do like the way this world is set up, or the way this world works, where literally you don't hear anything at all, and you're like, how do you survive this? How do you not make noise? I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I can't imagine you never making noise, because it's human nature nowadays to be as loud as possible.
Yeah, a lot of times you really can't not make noise. And I love it that this family, as lucky as they are, they adapted as much as they can to live in a world that is doing a basic human nature thing, which is making sound.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be from your voice. It could just be you dropping something.
Yeah.
You will be punished. And I was like, what? And it's instant death. It's maybe like a 90 to 80% chance you are dead
Yeah.
if you make the slightest bit of noise. And holy shit, I just wish that happened to a certain person who was sitting like maybe 5 rows away from us. Because holy shit, she just kept explaining everything. I was like, oh my god, they're putting sand so they can walk quiet. Like, yeah, yes, we see.
Correct.
And I was like, oh my god. And like my girlfriend at the time, she was like very nervous to like tell me like, hey, this person's very loud. Because for me, I'm the type of person in the movie theater who goes, like
Yeah.
pretty much tell somebody like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
God damn. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the world that they live in, and I love it. Like they have to put sand on like wooden planks. They have to put like sand on like areas where there's dried leaves all around. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you escape every variable? And
Yeah.
that's the entire movie.
It's not like if I just crouch down and hope for the best and still wear boots and all these modern things, I will make it. No, it's like literally the sight is at you. You're like, oh fuck. Like that's what happens in like the beginning. You see the poor child drop his toy rocket that he wanted so bad, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
but then I'm like, why did
drop it? Huh?
I'm like, why did you put the batteries back in? He's supposed to understand, like, no, nothing allowed, please, God.
Yeah, and like, I love it that nobody's stupid here.
Yeah.
You know, like I get the kid. Like the kid wants to play something. He's bored. What do you expect? It's a place without noise, and you're trying to teach him that there is no noise.
Yeah.
And he's just playing with his rocket, and he's just like flying around. His older sister tries to be like a really good sister, and like puts in
The battery.
the batteries.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, maybe her. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You know, like.
And like the
You could have
kid.
done that when you were safe, but anyway. Yeah. So the kid like just gets swooped up like a little bunny with a hawk. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, and you see John Krasinski's face, and that's the introduction to this world. And I'm just like, that was sick. Not the child dying, but us being shown that like this
setting
is
the
life
tone.
and death. The
Yeah.
stakes are high. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my god, John Krasinski as the dad is just doing his fucking best.
Yeah. Like when he's fishing with his son and he's like trying to explain like it's fine. The river's loud. So this cancels out our own noise. And like they have a quiet conversation like behind the waterfall where the kid's like, are you still mad at your daughter for what happened? He's like, no. Do you still love her? Of course. Can you please tell her that? Because she feels the weight of the world constantly on her. And you see that she obviously hasn't moved on for a very good reason. And like, I think the fact you were going to say was that this actress is deaf. And like, that's a
Yeah,
big...
she is. Yeah.
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 And like with this character, there are more stakes because you remove a big part of the way people survive. Of like, if I don't make noise, the things can hear me. But she's like, I don't know what's loud and what's not loud.
This girl is like going through hard mode
Yeah.
in this world, and I was just like,
Yeah.
like I was like, that was me in the theater. I was like, I'm like looking at my girlfriend, and I'm like,
Yeah. I love the fact that every time it's her perspective, you don't hear anything, and you're like, well, shit. Like when later on when the creature sneaks up behind her, you're like, well, fuck.
yeah. I'm just like, the entire movie, you're at the edge of your seat. This is what I appreciated about it. Like, and say what you will, it might be gimmicky, but it was very effective.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you got the entire audience to be involved with the movie, and that's such a great experience.
Yeah. You also see how John Krasinski winds up the tension versus like the old man who lost I imagine his wife, and he just goes,
Yeah, like,
yeah,
I get it, but you could have done it without us. You
Right.
know, like, I get you're mad, but we didn't do it.
right? And then like later on, you see how well he winds up the tension when like Emily Blunt like steps on that nail, and like she's already heavily pregnant, and you're just like, well, shit, the stakes are already high
Yeah.
enough.
The foreshadowing was amazing, where she like the I think it was a bag of clothes. I don't remember.
Gets
like
caught.
hooks onto like
Yeah.
the nail, and then like it just oops. And I was like, that's gonna come back later.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not gonna do anything about that, just in case you're in a rush and you have to go down really fast, you know.
Again, she probably didn't notice,
Uh.
but yeah, like in the farm,
Yeah.
like they have this entire base. They have radios, spawn radios, just trying to get as much and like I think they had a little bit of sound deadening with like the mattresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're doing their best, but they're still trying to. This is what I like. Once they get into like their house, they can talk. They can still communicate with each other, but they try their best not to.
Yeah.
They try to be in a habit of just like using sign language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when they're listening to music, it's through earphones. I love that little scene where she shares her earphone.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like that is a good practice. Even though you are safe, you just have to keep in that practice. And like it's just habit now. I was like, they're really building the world around it, and I love it that he's a very caring father who's like trying to make his daughter hear, not just because I want my daughter to experience the sound of the world. No, it's how she survives.
Yeah. Like I'm giving you help with making these what do you call them?
Hearing aids.
Hearing
yeah,
aids.
like they're like he's taking as much broken hearing aids that he can scrounge up from the world, because clearly you can't really access those.
Yeah. And like I think the best and like the moment I was like gripping the edges of my seat the most when Emily Blunt was giving birth. And like you're supposed to stay quiet, but how the fuck are you supposed to do that in this situation?
Hearing horror stories from my sister alone about like giving birth and how painful it is, and it like made me think. I was like, how the hell did that character that Emily Blunt played like do it?
Right?
Just like she just
Yeah.
all the things like beside the bathtub. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh man.
and like the only time when she's actually able to like scream is when the fireworks were going off.
Yeah. So just perfect timing, and then when the kids are on top of the silo and just falls, like one of the pieces falls into the silo, you're like, yeah, they definitely heard that. We're all fucked now. Jesus Christ, what the fuck are we gonna do? And then John Krasinski rescues them in time, and then unfortunately,
You're forgetting about like Killer Corn.
oh yes, the killer corn.
Yeah, where they fall in, so they have to like make noise.
Oh yeah,
So they
because
could like bust it open.
so they don't suffocate via corn, and you're like, yeah, I understand, but at the same time, this is a fuck situation. But
Dude, no one ever told me silos were this dangerous. Like
No.
I don't know if you know, like whatever the silo has, like dried wheat.
yeah,
Did you know that thing could like just catch on fire if it just leaks?
yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
Yeah,
They're
and
all,
like with corn, like if you fall into it, you're just gonna drown. And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, that makes
did
sense.
Did I
Oh no, you finished your sentence.
did I freeze? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's extremely dry, so you're like, yeah, I can see why it's flammable. But yeah, unfortunately, when they're escaping, John Krasinski doesn't see the creature until it's the last moment, and he gets hit like he was hit by the fucking Hulk, and you're like, oh fuck, is this the end of him?
Man just gets T-boned and it's like, fuck.
Yeah,
I would have not survived. If that was me, I'd be like, shit.
right. He's like, well, I am
Yeah,
disemboweled.
Yeah. And sadly, like the two kids were kind of just pinned to the wall, had no other choice. John Krasinski mustered up all the dad energy that he could,
Yeah,
and just signs the whole to his daughter. And I was just like, no,
right.
no, like I was like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of heart into this life scene, and not gonna lie, I kind of teared up.
Yeah,
But of course, with a very quiet cinema, you don't want to hear somebody sniffling like few rows back.
Yeah. They're like, all right, we're still supposed to be quiet, and like they
Yeah.
discover the weakness of these creatures, the feedback with like her hearing aid
Hearing aid.
and
Yeah.
the microphone, and like that's gives them the opportunity to finally kill these creatures because they have armor, and like you see the boy Krasinski does, and he's like, I don't know what their weakness is, and they find the weakness, which is the feedback or like high pitch. They're like Venom, where they're like, oh, high
Yeah.
pitched noises are not good for us, and then
Yeah.
you
So
see,
like yeah, like I love their design.
yeah,
Like they like open flaps, like their eyes are eardrums,
yeah,
and yeah, so like when they hear the feedback, their flaps open up
yeah,
and just like are going haywire, which gives them an opportunity to just shove a shotgun in there and just blast. And I'm like, that's a cool concept. I like that. It's a little bit of a hard step.
yeah,
But I feel like if somebody, I feel like they could have like found that out a little bit sooner.
right,
You know, like realized there was no like wailing of like a siren that kind of like took
Sure.
like you know.
gave it away.
Yeah, I was like, really? Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, though to be fair, it's like they said the timeline is like a year after first contact, so maybe people were just dying off. Where they're like, oh wait,
there was no time to like, like they just disappear. You know,
they're like, oh, it is sound, and I just dropped something. Well, I'm fucked.
like they're holding their guts and no, their intestines in their arms. I'm like, ah.
And then like all the creatures come to attack the farm, and then you get the most Michael Bay moment because this is produced by Michael Bay, where Emily Blunt just goes, and you're like, ah,
Yeah.
okay, that's obviously Bay's last touch. All right, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Which, in my opinion, was a little was not needed. Well, like Emily Blunt just coming in, like, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
like, cool. Like, yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, you were really badass there,
yeah,
but here you're already badass from like, off the bat.
yeah,
But like, I was like, really? You could have just been like looking at the camera, seeing all the things coming at you because they heard the shotgun,
yeah,
and then Emily was just like, okay, we got to deal with this, and it's just up to to lead to interpretation, and then next we find out that hey, Tommy Shelby's with them in the next movie.
yeah. I haven't seen the second one, to be honest.
Neither have I. Yeah, neither have I.
So, I hope. I mean, I guess they make it out fine in the next one.
Yeah.
Because unless I'm totally wrong and they all die. So if you know what, don't spoil it because I still want to watch it. To the audience
I haven't
watching,
seen it either.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But yeah, it's a solid movie. Even though that last thing of like, that's definitely Michael Bay's touch. It's still like, wow, that's a pretty solid movie, and like it's not too long too. Like I think Jeremy Johns keeps pointing this out that movies nowadays you're just like, can you please just fucking end? Stop making this part that's going on and on and on. Just end.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I do like this movie. And with that being said, what would you rate the first Quiet Place?
Quiet Place was a really like simple, but yet very like having such a simple concept had so much play into it. You know, like how I would say I could relate this to like Minecraft. You know, very simple concept. You build shit, everything's blocks, everything's like but it's just up to your imagination to just play with it.
Yeah.
And the whole concept here is that you can't make sound. The thing will kill you if you make sound. Look, we already had that with like that one, blind old man in that one movie.
Yes.
Yeah, the turkey baster movie. Sorry.
God damn it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
why
this-
must you remind me of these things?
I'm sorry. But when these things that can hear your sound move at the speed of light, and it's just an instant kill, like, it makes the stakes so much higher. I love it that it's an alien invasion movie. That's a horror movie. We haven't had that in a while. Like, the last thing I remember was either
Science.
War of the Worlds.
Oh, okay. Yes, War of the
No,
Worlds.
a little bit sooner.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, from that time, there was more like horror alien stuff, like with what was the name again? Like Don't Look Up.
Don't look up.
Jordan Peele.
Uh,
What was it?
nope.
Nope. There we
Yeah.
go. My bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a tagline. But anyway, yeah, this movie is great. I love the concept. It's very simple. Every actor and actresses did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And I'll give this one a solid, like, maybe like an 8.5. I kind of wanted to know more around that time.
Yeah.
I guess we're getting a bit more of an expansive universe with like how it started and like but it's a good movie. It's an 8.5 out of 10 for me. And to anyone who's a horror like movie buff and haven't seen A Quiet Place, please do. But wear earphones, wear noise canceling, like anything.
Yeah.
Do not watch this unless everybody in the room is in agreement of like shush,
Yeah.
because then the movie's ruined. Like I tried watching this with my parents and like on the TV, like I just put up Netflix, and I couldn't enjoy it because you would just hear the clanking of the plates. You just hear people chewing. I'm just like, this is not how I remembered it.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah. I'll also give this an 8 out of 10. It's a very good movie. I do like the three leads with Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and the daughter, Millicent Simmons. And I hope I get to see more of her. Obviously, she's in the next one, but like, I hope she has other acting roles in the future because she's very talented. And yeah, I do like the world, and it's obvious like some post-apocalyptic worlds post 2013 are very much inspired by The Last of Us, and you can see that here, and you're like, yeah, I get that, and it's a very good thing to pick from. But I don't blame them for doing that. But yeah, again, I do agree with you. Like if you watch it with your friends, you have to be like, you can't talk, you cannot make a sound, otherwise, it's like when you're like, I don't remember people making this much noise in this fucking movie. I'm talking about the people around me, not in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very solid movie, and please watch it with like very good headphones. Even though there's not a lot of noise, you need the suspense to watch this movie.
Yeah, you really do.
But yeah, what to the audience watching? What's your favorite horror movie with some kind of gimmick, whether it's like don't make noise or don't do this or
No, don't look. I'm sorry, Bird Box. Like you really tried to do like a Quiet Place 2.0. But in my opinion, I was just like,
yeah.
eh.
Yeah, it's like discount Bird Box, which you can stream for free if you have Netflix. Sorry, discount Quiet Place. Quiet Place, yeah. I was just remembering that movie. I was like, right, I forgot that existed.
Yeah, and it exists because the people were trying. It's kind of the equivalent of like, sorry, there's a horrible like comparison, but like it's like Twilight to 50 Shades.
Or like
Yeah, it's like that.
John Wick with like the 20+ John Wick clones, like Nobody. Even though Nobody, I hear it's a pretty good movie. I haven't seen that yet.
I liked it. I like it, but it's very John Wick.
Yeah, but
That's the same guy from John Wick.
Yeah. But yeah, if you like our videos, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, Spotify to hear us on the go. In the video, I'm Zoda's Voices on TikTok and M's Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Or you can find me at JohnJoM_ on Instagram. It is my other account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.